Now, the zhi. I'd like to spend a little time on this because we haven't really covered it. We know that there are in Chinese medicine the so-called Wu Shen, the 5 spirits. Shen for the heart, Hun for the liver, Po for the lungs, the Yi for the spleen, and the zhi for the kidneys. The zhi for the kidney. Quite difficult to give a one-word translation, as usual, for a Chinese concept, because it's bigger than one thing. So what is it? Underneath, we have the character for the heart. The heart. So it's not the same as the Hun and the Po, which have the character for the Gui, or a kind of unseen spirit. It's more like a state of mind, or a quality of, I hesitate to say feeling, but it is a kind of feeling. And then importantly, this little part above, that's the ground. That is something which is able to come up from the ground. That's the big concept that we have here. And you have a line here showing that that's the important bit. Some of you may think, isn't that the earth? Be careful. The earth looks like this. This is 2, earth. Big ground. It's the earth you're talking about, and the ability of a plant to grow up. This has the same idea. There's something growing up from the ground. We saw that also with the character Shen for life. Some ability to grow up, to stand up for yourself. All of this is to do with the zhi. It may have an element of the erection of the penis, but that's not a major thing. But it may do as well. The power to be hard and strong and remain so. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's not in any way purely a sexual image. But this is the zhi. And if we look at it here. Just want to put the zhi in context of the other spiritual aspects. So I've just done them in the 5 elements. Yeah, heart, Shen, Po for the lungs, Hun for the liver, Yi in the center for the spleen, the zhi for the kidneys. We have the Shen, in a way, is in the realm of its own. We'll talk about the Shen later. The Hun and the Po are a pair. A pair to the point where life is the joining of the Hun and the Po, and death is the separation of the Hun and the Po, where the Hun goes upward to heaven and the Po dissolves back into the earth. But they're a pair. You can't have a Hun and no Po. It's like trying to just have a left side. You can't, you've got a right behind it. And the zhi yi, or the yi zhi, are actually also a couple. If you want to stretch it a bit, they're a couple where the zhi is the anterior heaven power and the yi is the posterior heaven power. If you like that image, the difference between water and earth, the kidney and the spleen. Why not? Which makes the zhi something very fundamental. And the zhi really is like the will to live. Yeah, okay, we can say it's willpower and even possibly ambition, but it's the will to live. Once the kidney power goes, the will to live dissolves, and you can be released. It's an important way to die, to realize that things have come to an end. So, the zhi and the yi. The yi is your focused intent. Your focused intent. Your ability to leave aside all extraneous thing and just focus on one thing. A little bit like it's in the center here, yeah? Feeling like the focus of a lens. I'll talk about the yi as well. when we look at the heart. There's a strong connection between the heart, mind, and the yi. But here the zhi and the yi, your will and your intent go together. And in some ways, they're like if you were a boat, the zhi would be the keel, yeah? Something deep in the water which keeps you stable, like a sea root float. And the yi would be the rudder. The yi would be the rudder. You want to go over there. Yeah, okay, let's go over there. You need the zhi and the yi together. The zhi and the yi together. The zhi gives unparalleled stability. Stability and power. Can't really use another word. We had the word before. Jiang, this inner strength and power. That's related to the humans. And I'd just like to read you a classical quotation, just to show how important the zhi is. And this is from, I'm sorry I didn't put it in your handout. This is from the Ling Chu, chapter 47. Ling Chu, the second half of the Neijing, the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Internal Medicine. The zhi yi, the will and the intent, are what direct the jing-shen. They are what direct the jing essences and shen spirit. Gather the hun and the po. Gather the hun and the po. Regulate heat and cold, and harmoniously blend joy and anger. Joy and anger here standing for the emotions. So will and intent, zhi yi, direct the jing-shen, gather the hun and the po, regulate heat and cold, and harmoniously blend joy and anger. They are powerful directive force in life. And if you consider these things again, the Shen is not bound by the earth, and actually nor is the hun. And the hun and the po and the Shen essentially are invisible. They are somehow invisible bodies. But the zhi and the yi are qualities of the human spirit, They're in a different level to these. But without them, the hun and the po and the Shen are nowhere. And this is the importance, actually massive importance, in this Daoist tradition of focus and clarity and determination. The zhi could be determination. Determination to keep on track and to keep going. That's such a kidney thing. And then just the end of the quote, when the zhi yi, when the will and intent are in harmony, then the jing-shen, essences and spirits, are concentrated and correct. The hun and the po are not dissipated. Regret and anger do not arise. And the five zang, the five organs, do not receive perverse influences. They're really something that focuses and gathers all of these aspects together. And so just to finish on the zhi, I want to read you something that I wrote myself, which goes like this. The jing, qi, shen, the hun and the po, are they all you need to let blood flow? The heart and kidneys, lung, liver and spleen, are they enough to make your life a sweet dream? The intestines, the stomach, the bladder and gallbladder, are they sufficient to make your life gladder? The jing and the lo, the ren and the du, are they really all you need for your life to be renewed? No. Without the zhi and without the yi, you'll never be yourself, you'll never be free. You'll drift with the tide like a rudderless boat, no will of your own, no focused purpose, no hope. You need grit and determination to make your own way, not be led off track by others, whatever they say. need to train the wild horse, which we'll come to later, of your galloping, thought-filled mind, or you'll end up as a dangling puppet, the blind led by the blind. So set to work, don't leave everything to chance. Make your life something greater, let your life be enhanced. Be like life's rooted stem, so solid and strong. Don't just blow with the wind and let others string you along. Learn directed concentration. Control's not just for freaks. It'll give you power and skill, the carefully crafted skill of life itself, right there at your fingertips. Then you'll be a player on the field, not just cheering from the stands. Your life will be your own, not in someone else's hands. Then the jing and the lo, the ren and the do, will wake up and shake up. They'll have something to do. The gallbladder and bladder, stomach and intestines can finally do that for which they were destined. The spleen, liver and lung, the kidneys and the heart can get their fingers out and play their part. The hun and the po, the jing-shen won't just be sitting around wondering when, oh when will this life have direction and orientation. Be more than a sleepwalking dream, become a celebration. Be filled with joy and beauty, excitement and elation. So open Shen Men and let the Shen in open Ming Men, and let your destiny begin. Sail your own boat, is the Vancouver. Whatever the weather, the Je and the Yi will keep it together. That's the journey. I just thought they were the kind of poor cousins. Everyone's always talking about the Shen and the Hun and the Po, and the poor Yi. No one ever asks them to the ball. Anyway. And yeah, it's just a really important aspect of this whole thing. The ability to keep on track and keep yourself together. It is also related to memory. Because memory is like that two-headed deer business. That's the ability to look back into the past and learn from it, so you don't make all the mistakes that you made before. This has a lot to do with the kidneys. It also means that people who destroy their kidneys, and I was talking yesterday about, these poor people who've gone seriously into alcohol or seriously into drugs and, party, life ends up as a total non-party. They lose all these abilities. An addiction is the loss of the memory that something is bad for you, and the ability to use your je yi to steam on out of a dangerous place. So the kidneys are very important in that aspect of remembering who you are, where you came from, and not to do something that was bad for you. Yeah.
I know we kind of touched on it yesterday with your question about the gallbladder.
Yeah.
So you just said that the gallbladder was related to this courage. So then are you trying to work on their gallbladder a little bit first to get them the courage to change their life, or just go straight, like everything's depleted?
No, nice question, because the gallbladder is a really powerful thing, but it's also to do with vision. Mm-hmm. The gallbladder is related, the gallbladder is partner to the hun. They kind of work together as well. So yes, absolutely, you need to recover their courage and recover their ability to get out of it. But first of all, they have to want to get out of it. That's because you can help them all you want, but they can just be kind of basking in your whole victim compassion. You know what I mean? It's an endless well. But yes, the gallbladder is massively important for that. Yeah, it is. And actually, gallbladder 25 is quite a good point, because you get the gallbladder and the kidney at the same time. Yeah, that's right. And it's not so far from Ming Men. Ming Men is also very important for this. This gate of destiny means you can get back on track. You can get back into your gate of destiny. And also, of course, we have here we have Dumai 4. And there's so many of these kind of little groups of points. I'm really recommending study points in little groups rather than just tracking down the meridian. That's fine. But once you've tracked down the meridian, then, hop onto the next one. So, look east and west, not just always north-south. And here you have that at 52. So this is another important point. I'm sure you know it for what you're talking about. It's called in Chinese jing-shen, something like the lodge of the will. It's the only point which is specifically a zhi point, the lodge of the will. Yeah, bladder 52. And bladder 23, of course, that Shen Chu, it's directly tonifying the kidneys, and my 4 is Ming Men, the gate of destiny. So I will often be using these points, and if they're tired, depleted, cold, exhausted, moxa, get that Ming Men fire moving again. With people who where the kidneys are really weakened, like this guy I told you about, who's really been seriously into substance abuse, and was a barman working from like midnight till 7 every night. I mean, you've got to be super strong to do that. And he's not, he's at the end of his 20s, and he's, unless something changes, he's heading into a very, very bad space. So kidney 3. The kidney 3, Tai Chi, is a source point, a yuan source point. It's kind of the magic kidney point, because it's all source points means that they connect to the yuan qi. So, and you have a kidney point that connects to the yuan qi, that's a kind of a super yuan point. This is the point for disintegration of everything we've talked about, of firmness, of memory, of longevity. It's for premature aging, for sore back, for never having any energy, never having any direction in your life, all of those things. Personally, I often use kidney points with heart points. That's the Shao Yin axis of health that we talked about before. For example, kidney 3, it depends. It depends what's happening, obviously. If they can't sleep at night, even though they're exhausted, and they're kind of wide awake. Heart 6, yin-shi, cleft point. It's the yin. It's a little pool of yin on the heart meridian. It's also very good for hot flushes, by the way. It cools the heart fire. And classically, heart 6 and kidney 6 doesn't always work, of course, but it's a kind of insomnia formula, if you like. That's with bladder 62. So you're working on the yang chao mai and the yin chao mai, which help the yin and yang rhythms in the body and the opening and closing of the eyes. What about gallbladder points? Of course, there's gallbladder 24 itself, the move point of the gallbladder. But actually, personally, because we're also talking about the power of decision, incisive decision making, which is completely lost. And remember, simple points, again, the source point, like gallbladder 40. Gallbladder 40, it's a nice point. Kind of a gentle wake up gallbladder kind of point. Let's just bring this to a conclusion. Remember also gallbladder 13, which has a name which sounds like it should be a mountain in Scotland. Not Ben Nevis, but Ben Shen. Ben is the root, and Shen is the spirit. So Ben Shen is the point to root the Shen. That's exactly what you want on the gallbladder. So you could use kind of a point like Ben Shen. Maybe overdoing it a bit, but you could use heart 7, which is Shen Men. Open the gate for the Shen to return. It's a nice way to see it. I hate the concept of Shen disturbance. So that's really not the classic concept, Shen disturbance. The Shen are never disturbed. Your connection with the Shen is what's disturbed. Like a rainy day in Vancouver, is that a sun-disturbed day? From our point of view, it is. From the sun's point of view, that's what? So, no way. Ben Shen, it's got this gallbladder power. It's on the head. It's going to affect the electrical activity in the brain. It's going to be. It's going to help to sort things. And Shao Yang, thank you for bringing it up. Shao Yang, it's punchier than the kidneys. It's a kind of punchy, slightly bully older brother version of the kidneys. No, the gallbladder in the text is really a kind of macho character. But you need that sometimes, when you've lost it all. You need